3 months or so before I have any vocalists or anything involved, because it's so unfocused. It's so difficult for me to really know where I'm going with any of it, and because I don't have any top line melody or words to work with, I'm just always second guessing myself. So really, it's a very open kind of jigsaw, with lots of pieces of ideas and nothing put together. And my problem is I'm more and more perfectionist over the years, so I never like to commit to anything,
Mm-hmm.
So it's always it's quite chaotic for a long time until I manage to find some singers, and then it all starts to come together. Well, I think it's always there in the background, just the kind of, there's always a musical reference to what I'm doing. I mean, it's very important that, things fit together musically, and it's not just a sort of random collection of samples. I mean, each sample or each loop has to work with another one in a musical way. And so I think my background helps me there. There's not so much, I don't actually play very much anymore. I obviously do a few keyboard parts and what have you, but most of it is playing around with vocals, with pieces of other people's performance, really, and trying to put it together in a different sort of way. Well, I think it is, yeah. I mean, for me, it's been really helpful, I mean, there's many good musicians out there that don't have that sort of background, that are able to do interesting things, but I certainly value having that background. Well, I don't know, really. I mean, I don't hear a lot of music that's similar to what I do. I'm not saying it's unique, but, I find it surprising that more people don't kind of approach music in a similar way, where you put so many different styles together to create some strange new hybrid. I mean, I think one of the problems with, not necessarily a problem, but one of the things that happens is the same thing I was saying earlier about not having a focus. It means that what I'm really doing is making sort of instrumentals, and then later on a song gets added to them, which is why they tend to be very long, and once I've got used to them like that, it's difficult to cut them right back down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was funny recently because I had to reduce Pray from 8 minutes 20 down to 3 minutes
Mm-hmm.
or something for a single,
Yeah.
and so that was quite an exercise in editing,
Yeah.
to see if I could get it down and still make sense of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it works, but it was, yeah. I mean, it probably won't ever get played on the radio, so there's not much point anyway. Well, it's very important that the voice sounds right to me for the music that I've made,
Mm-hmm.
Lyrics can be more open, but I think the actual sound of the voice, has to be right. But I do like to work with new people because I think it brings an added dynamic to each record. If you're working with someone you've never worked with before, you're trying to impress them, they're trying to impress you.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they're quite unknown, and therefore they don't have a sort of any kind of attitude or jaded background, where they've done it all before. I prefer working with new people, really, because they have a more open mind and are willing to try things. I mean, it's important to me that they are up for experimentation. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I enjoy film and I have lots of favourite films, but it's important to create a picture with music. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? To put the listener into some kind of space, and that space for me is usually quite a dark one, and I don't really know where that comes from. It just is. It just goes that way. And what I find quite satisfying is when people say to me, whether it doesn't matter whether you have like a Joe Richardson, an obvious blues or whether you have Carla, who's a completely different English girl, the two tracks still sound like they're Recoil.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what I'm trying to get, that there's a continuity, you know, with the, and that must come from just the way I put things together. Yeah, I think, I mean, perhaps I should be more rigorous with my editing, I don't know. But I do, I mean, Dan Miller said to me, you know, the album sounds great, Alan, but it's quite complicated. And if it was me, I would make it more simple, you know. But I said to him, well, just listen to it a few more times, you know. And I do like records where you have to kind of learn the record.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't just get it all on one listen. You have to keep listening, find new things in it, and eventually the arrangements make much more sense that way.
Yes.
So it's just really music that has time to develop and to go into different areas. I have no idea. I hope so, but who knows?
Huh.
Well, as I said, lyrics are not so important to me. I mean, obviously they have to be something I agree with and something that I think works, you know. But I don't set any rules about lyrics. I mean, I always say to people, write whatever you want to write about, and let's see how it fits. I mean, normally they, you know, because the music is leading them in some kind of direction, they normally write about something that fits the music, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Normally a kind of a slightly darker subject, and that we do tend to often come back to the same themes of human behaviour, you know, and the darker side of human behaviour, really. And it seems to have happened again on this record.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to make sense of it all at the end, really. When everyone's written stuff, I try to sort of see what it all means to me, you know.